Welcome, brave souls, to Survival Horror Ambience. Prepare to journey into the realm of the unknown where chilling tales and spine-tingling mysteries await. We invite you to step into the shadows, where fear and suspense reign supreme.
A tale unfurled that could have emerged from the twisted imagination of Stephen King himself. I was a child of 7, nestled within the confines of our 2-story box house, a setting ripe for the bizarre events that were to transpire. Accompanying me were my 2 older sisters, aged 8 and 11, along with a pair of cousins, each at the tender age of 7 or 8. A quintet of young souls, all girls, left to their own devices in that creaking abode. It was the solemn duty of my eldest sister to watch over us 4 younger ones. To paint a vivid picture of the scene, one must envision our house, a mundane structure with a flat roof and a similarly styled small porch projecting from the front. This seemingly ordinary backdrop would soon become the stage for an unnerving drama. As the day meandered on, our juvenile diversions were intermittently interrupted by an unsettling symphony of sounds emanating from above, footsteps, and the disconcerting clatter resembling pebbles cascading down the downspouts. The rationale of youth led us to attribute these dissonances to harmless creatures, perhaps squirrels or their ilk. But persistence fostered suspicion, and soon my elder sister conjectured a chilling notion. What if someone had scaled the massive tree adjacent to our dwelling, creeping onto the roof? Fear bubbled within our collective hearts, for we were aware of a point of entry on that rooftop accessible via a bedroom we shared. Unease now gripped us like a vice. To ascertain the truth, my elder sister instructed our cousins and one of my sisters to make a treacherous journey across an empty gravel expanse to the nearby corner store. The mission. Peer upward on their return and confirm or dispel our mounting dread. And so, these intrepid young souls, scarcely past their 8th year, embarked on their mission. Midway through the barren lot, their curiosity impelled them to cast their gaze skyward. The sight that met their eyes was straight out of an 80s horror flick, akin to Johnny Depp's demeanor in A Nightmare on Elm Street, a man clad in an audaciously cropped football jersey, an embodiment of retro eccentricity, hunkered down on our very roof. A tumultuous eruption of panic carried them back to our sanctuary, where breathless and terrified, they relayed the bizarre apparition. In a state of near hysteria, my elder sister sought solace in our neighbor's deck, hoping to gain a vantage point from which to corroborate or discredit this macabre account. Alas, the rooftop's configuration thwarted her efforts, obscuring any sign of the unwelcome visitor. Summoning law enforcement was the next logical step. Temporal distortion seemed to take hold as the minutes stretched on, transforming into an agonizing eternity before the police arrived. Their entrance was marked by a palpable skepticism, dismissing our claims as mere childish fantasies crafted for attention. One officer embarked on a reconnaissance mission, driving to a vantage point uphill, a block away. Alas, the peculiar geometry of the rooftop denied any line of sight to a prone figure. And so, the onus was shifted back to us, 5 young souls, trembling and tearful, beseeched to search every nook and cranny of our own home. The specter of that potential intruder loomed large, his possible ingress haunting our every step. As if trapped in a living nightmare, we embarked on this terrifying mission. Our trembling hands and tear-filled eyes cast over corners and closets, but how keen can the vision of youth truly be? The officers departed without thorough investigation, leaving us alone in a house now infused with an unsettling dread. The unknown lingered. Was he lurking, concealed within, or had he vanished into the night? Hours elapsed before my mother finally returned, her presence a balm to our frayed nerves. We recounted the nightmarish sequence, only to be met by reassurances that the rooftop access was secured by a lock, an assertion confirmed by her subsequent investigation. The exterior, however, bore the damning evidence of our veracity. Footprints marred the earth, testimony to the man's descent from our rooftop sanctuary down the porch and into the flower beds below. My mother, a tempest of rage and disbelief, stormed to the local police station the following day. Each of us was subjected to interrogation. The consistency of our testimonies a testament to the truth of our words. The brass, however, remained unmoved, their skepticism unyielding in the face of innocence. The identity of that mysterious intruder, his purpose, and his knowledge of our juvenile isolation remained forever locked in the enigmatic folds of the 80s night. And thus, like a tale spun from the masterful pen of Stephen King, our narrative ended in unsettling uncertainty, the rooftops and shadows forever holding their secrets.
Our parents ventured out for a swift grocery errand. As the familiar hum of the car faded down the driveway, a text from my mother chimed in, bearing an unsettling message. The contents painted a strange portrait of our elderly neighbor, perched on his driveway as if in vigilant observation of the neighborhood. My heart raced as her words instructed me to secure the front door, an injunction I adhered to without hesitation. Accompanying this act, I discreetly pocketed a pocket knife for added reassurance. In the dimly lit living room, my sister and I sought refuge, engrossed in a television show. Yet the serenity was shattered by an unexpected knock on the door. Instinct propelled me to act swiftly. I herded my sister into the basement, urging her to remain there while I dealt with the enigmatic visitor. With an interior door equipped with a window, I strained to discern the figure on the other side. A man or woman, the details obscured by the glass, yet apprehension gnawed at me. Men were a rarity in our quiet neighborhood, and their disposition was anything but amiable. A surge of anxiety coursed through me, amplifying my fear as I contemplated the presence outside. If my absence extended beyond 30 minutes, I instructed my sister to contact the authorities and seek refuge with a neighbor until our parents returned. The door creaked open, revealing the visitor, none other than our unsettling neighbor, his request bordering on the bizarre. A peculiar mix of dread and relief intertwined as he implored me to join him outside. Supposedly, he sought an audience with my parents, but as they were absent, he insisted on conversing with me. With trepidation gripping me, I refused his request, a resolute no escaping my lips. His insistence persisted, urging me to accompany him at that very moment. His rationale was grounded in my parents' absence, requiring him to relay his matters to me instead. Skepticism wrestled with my fear, and in a moment of vulnerability, I allowed myself to entertain this unlikely scenario. The inexplicable beckoning led me to follow him, trailing him towards his abode. A reckless impulse drove me, a faint comfort stemming from the pocketed knife that bolstered my confidence. His journey brought me to his meticulously kept lawn, a canvas of grass that he guarded fervently. In his stern gaze, I detected the solemnity he attributed to his grass, his surveillance encompassing even the minutest of trespasses. With a gravitas matched only by his overgrown lawn, he gestured toward patches of withered grass. A revelation spilled from his lips, accusations directed at our cats. These alleged culprits had purportedly visited his yard, wreaking havoc on his precious grass. A surge of relief washed over me as his grievance shifted from potential harm to the innocuous habits of our feline companions. With measured words, I conveyed the truth. Our cats never set paws outside our sanctuary. A well-timed fabrication concealed their occasional backyard escapades. Returning home, my parents received my account, and they too were baffled by the strange events. As days unfolded, the neighbor's unease grew, prompting him to summon the police on multiple occasions. Regrettably, for him, the authorities remained powerless to intervene. The strangest twist in this peculiar narrative lay in the fact that the cats he perceived as the malefactors were not even ours, but rather a band of wandering strays. In retrospect, the memory of that night carries an eerie blend of the bizarre and the ordinary, a tale that unraveled within the shadows of a suburban enclave.
Thank you for embarking on this eerie journey with us through the corridors of fear and paranoia. If you've been entranced by these tales of the unexplained, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay tuned for more spine-chilling stories. And remember, in the world of survival horror ambience, even the most ordinary places can conceal the darkest secrets.